Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something today that a lot of people don't want to admit. When a man is crazy for you, he don't announce it with fireworks. He don't post a banner. He don't always say it loud. A man being crazy for you shows up in the quiet moments, the boring moments, the moments when nobody is watching. That's where the truth lies. Let me tell you something real about a man when he is truly crazy for you. You don't have to hear it first. You see it. Men reveal everything through behavior, not speeches. A man can say the right words all day long, but his actions will expose exactly how deep his feelings go. When he's crazy for you, his life starts rearranging itself around your presence without you asking for it. See, a man who is crazy for you doesn't make you chase clarity. He doesn't leave you guessing where you stand. His behavior answers the question before your mouth even forms it. He checks in not because you demanded it, but because you crossed his mind. He remembers details you casually mentioned weeks ago because your words landed somewhere important inside him. Men don't accidentally do that. Attention is intentional. When a man is crazy for you, effort becomes automatic. He doesn't need reminders to call. He doesn't need motivation to show up. He doesn't disappear when things slow down or get uncomfortable. He stays present. And presence is the loudest form of love a man knows how to give. A man who truly wants you won't risk losing you by being careless with your emotions. Now understand this part clearly. Men are problem solvers by nature. When a man is crazy for you, your happiness becomes a problem he wants to solve. Not control, not dominate, but protect. If something bothers you, it bothers him. If something hurts you, he takes it personally. He starts thinking ahead, planning, adjusting, because your comfort becomes part of his responsibility. A man who is crazy for you also becomes predictable in the best way. Same respect every day. Same energy whether he's winning or struggling. Same care whether you're dressed up or exhausted. You don't have to earn his affection over and over again. You don't have to perform. He shows up steady because his feelings aren't temporary. And here's something people miss. When a man is crazy for you, he doesn't compete with other men anymore. He secures his position. He doesn't test you with jealousy games. He doesn't try to make you anxious to feel powerful. He understands that peace keeps you close, not confusion. A secure man moves differently. Watch how he treats your time. A man who is crazy for you respects it. He doesn't waste it. He doesn't constantly reschedule. He doesn't only show up when it's convenient. Time is the one thing men don't give unless it matters, and when he gives it freely, that tells you everything you need to know. Also, notice how he talks about you when you're not around. A man who is crazy for you protects your name in rooms you'll never enter. He doesn't joke at your expense. He doesn't allow disrespect. Pride shows up in private conversations long before it shows up on social media. And let me say this slowly for the people in the back. If a man is crazy for you, you will feel safe in his consistency, not emotionally dizzy, not anxious, not confused. Love doesn't leave bruises on your peace. Love shows up, stays steady, and makes life feel lighter instead of heavier. Men don't hide obsession well. When he's crazy for you, his actions betray him every single time. Let me explain something about consistency, because this is where most people get fooled. Consistency is not about grand gestures. It's not about gifts, vacations, or loud promises. Consistency is about how a man shows up when nothing exciting is happening, when days look normal, when life feels heavy, when nobody is clapping. That's when you see if a man is really crazy for you. A man who is crazy for you doesn't love you in waves. He doesn't give you affection one week and silence the next. He doesn't treat you like a priority today and an option tomorrow. His behavior has a rhythm to it. You recognize it. You trust it. You don't have to wake up wondering which version of him you're getting. And that kind of steadiness is rare because it requires emotional discipline. See, men can be consistent about what they care about. They show up to work on time. They protect their reputation. They commit to what matters to them. So when a man becomes consistent with you, that means you've moved into a serious category in his life. You are no longer a convenience. You are a commitment in his mind, even if he hasn't put language to it yet. When a man is crazy for you, his communication doesn't disappear when life gets busy. Busy men still text, tired men still check in. Stressed men still make time. Inconsistent men make excuses. A man who truly values you will not leave emotional gaps for doubt to grow. He understands that silence creates insecurity, and he won't risk your peace like that. Consistency also shows up in respect. He doesn't compliment you only when he wants something. He doesn't listen only when it benefits him. He respects your feelings even when he disagrees with you. He watches his tone. He chooses his words carefully. Because hurting you would hurt something he's trying to protect. And here's the part people don't talk about. A man who is crazy for you is consistent even when you're not at your best, when you're emotional, when you're tired, when you're not smiling. He doesn't withdraw love as punishment. He doesn't make you feel like you have to earn kindness. He understands that love isn't just about attraction, it's about patience. Consistency also means he doesn't keep resetting the relationship. You're not starting over every week. You're not explaining your boundaries. You're not constantly fixing what he broke last time. Growth happens. Progress happens. Stability happens. And stability is what allows feelings to deepen instead of burn out. A man who is crazy for you also becomes reliable. His word starts to mean something. If he says he'll be there, he is. If plans change, he explains. If mistakes happen, he owns them. You don't have to investigate his behavior. Transparency replaces suspicion. Let me tell you something important. Butterflies fade. Excitement fluctuates. Passion rises and falls. But consistency is what keeps a man emotionally attached long term. It's what makes him feel connected even on boring days. And when a man chooses to be consistent with you day after day, that's not accidental. That's intention showing up in real life. A man who is crazy for you doesn't just feel something. He maintains something. Let me talk to you about protection and pride, because this is one of the clearest signs a man is deeply attached to you. When a man is crazy for you, he doesn't just care about how he feels when he's with you. He cares about how the world treats you when he's not around. Something shifts inside him. Your safety, your dignity, your emotional well-being start to matter on a personal level. A man who is crazy for you becomes aware. He notices your moods. He senses when something is off even before you say it. Not because he's psychic, but because his attention is tuned in to you. Men don't pay attention to what they don't value. Awareness is a form of protection. It's him saying without words, I'm watching over what matters to me. Protection also shows up in how he speaks to you. He doesn't raise his voice to overpower you. He doesn't use silence as a weapon. He doesn't embarrass you in front of others. A man who is crazy for you guards your emotions carefully because he understands that once trust is broken, it's hard to repair. He would rather be gentle than be right. Now let's talk about pride, because this is important. When a man is crazy for you, he is proud of you in a quiet, confident way. He wants people to know you're with him, not for status, not for attention, but because he sees your value. He doesn't hide you. He doesn't downplay the relationship. He introduces you with respect, and he stands a little taller when you walk into the room. A man who is deeply attached will also protect your name when you're not present. He doesn't allow jokes that cross the line. He doesn't entertain disrespectful conversations. Even in rooms you'll never enter, he keeps you covered. That kind of loyalty doesn't come from rules. It comes from emotional investment. Protection doesn't mean control. That's where people get it twisted. A man who is crazy for you doesn't try to cage you. He encourages your growth. He supports your independence. He wants you strong, not dependent. Real protection gives freedom, not fear. Watch how he responds when someone disrespects you. He doesn't brush it off. He doesn't ask you to tolerate it to keep the peace. He addresses it calmly but firmly, because allowing disrespect toward you feels like allowing disrespect toward himself. You and him become connected in his mind. A man who is crazy for you also protects the relationship itself. He doesn't invite unnecessary drama. He doesn't entertain options. He doesn't flirt carelessly. He understands that attention is energy, and he keeps his energy where it belongs. That restraint is not forced, it's chosen. And here's something deep. When a man is crazy for you, he feels responsible for how you experience love with him. He wants you to feel safe opening up. He wants you to feel secure expressing your emotions. He doesn't punish vulnerability. He protects it. Men don't give this level of care casually. Protection and pride are emotional investments. When you see them consistently, you're not guessing anymore. You're witnessing attachment in action. Let me explain something about sacrifice, because this is where real feelings stop being a theory and start becoming visible. When a man is crazy for you, he doesn't announce his sacrifices, he just makes them. He doesn't keep score. He doesn't bring it up later to win arguments. He quietly adjusts his life because keeping you feels more important than keeping everything exactly the same. A man who is deeply attached begins to shift his priorities. Things that once mattered start moving down the list, not because you demanded it, but because his perspective changed. He starts thinking in terms of we instead of me. Decisions are no longer just about what benefits him in the moment, but what protects the connection long term. Watch how he handles inconvenience. A man who is crazy for you doesn't vanish when effort is required. He shows up when it's uncomfortable. He chooses the harder option if it means being there for you. Sacrifice is not about suffering, it's about willingness. And willingness is impossible to fake for long. You'll notice he becomes flexible. His schedule bends. His habits shift. His routine makes room for you. Men don't give up comfort unless something feels worth it. If he's making time where there used to be none, that's not accidental. That's desire backed by action. A man who is crazy for you also sacrifices ego. This is a big one. He learns to apologize without being forced. He admits when he's wrong. He listens instead of dominating the conversation. Ego steps back when love steps forward. A man protecting his pride above all else will never be able to protect a relationship. Sacrifice also shows up in restraint. He doesn't react impulsively. He thinks before speaking. He chooses peace over winning. Not because he's weak, but because he values the connection more than momentary satisfaction. That kind of self-control takes emotional maturity. Notice how he handles temptation. A man who is crazy for you doesn't put himself in situations that threaten the relationship. He doesn't entertain attention that could cross lines. He understands that loyalty is built through daily choices, not dramatic declarations. Another quiet sacrifice is emotional availability. Men aren't taught to open up easily. When a man chooses to share his fears, doubts, and insecurities with you, that's him stepping into vulnerability. Vulnerability costs something. It requires trust, and men don't give that to people they don't see a future with. A man who is crazy for you will also sacrifice comfort to protect your peace. He'll have difficult conversations instead of avoiding them. He'll address issues instead of letting resentment build. He understands that short-term discomfort can prevent long-term damage. These sacrifices don't come from pressure. They come from attachment. When a man is crazy for you, he doesn't feel like he's losing parts of himself. He feels like he's investing in something that matters more than what he's giving up. Let me tell you something about fear, because when a man is crazy for you, fear shows up in a very specific way. Not the kind that makes him run, but the kind that makes him hold on tighter. A man who truly values you becomes aware that losing you would cost him something he can't easily replace. And that awareness changes how he moves. A man who is crazy for you starts protecting the connection instead of testing it. He doesn't disappear to see how you'll react. He doesn't play emotional games to feel powerful. He understands that love is not a competition. Fear of loss, when it's healthy, creates responsibility, not manipulation. You'll notice that when conflict happens, he doesn't threaten to walk away. He doesn't use distance as punishment. He may need space to think, but he always comes back to resolve things. A man who is afraid of losing you won't gamble with the relationship. He knows that some risks aren't worth taking. Fear also shows up in self-correction. When he realizes something he did hurt you, he adjusts. Not just with words, but with changed behavior. He doesn't say, "That's just how I am," and expect you to accept it. He evolves. Growth is the clearest sign that losing you matters to him. A man who is crazy for you listens differently. He doesn't hear your concerns as complaints. He hears them as warnings, signals, information he needs to keep the relationship strong. He understands that ignoring small issues is how big problems are created, so he pays attention early. You'll also see fear in how careful he becomes with your emotions. He doesn't joke about sensitive topics. He doesn't dismiss your feelings. He chooses his words because he knows how deeply they land. A man who is not invested speaks carelessly. A man who is afraid of losing you becomes thoughtful. Fear of loss doesn't mean insecurity. It means value. He doesn't constantly accuse you. He doesn't monitor your every move. Instead, he focuses on being a man you don't want to leave. That's confidence rooted in effort, not control. When a man is crazy for you, he also becomes honest. Not brutally honest in a careless way, but transparent. He doesn't hide things that could create distance later. He understands that secrets erode trust, and trust is the foundation of keeping you close. Another sign of fear is commitment to repair. When something breaks between you, he doesn't pretend it didn't happen. He wants to fix it. He asks questions. He tries to understand your perspective. He invests time and energy into healing the connection, because starting over with someone else feels more exhausting than doing the work with you. A man who is afraid of losing you also stops entertaining exits. He doesn't keep one foot out the door. He doesn't talk about options. He plants himself in the relationship mentally. Stability becomes attractive to him because you have become home. Let me make this clear. When a man fears losing you, you won't feel anxious. You'll feel secure. You won't feel like you're walking on eggshells. You'll feel valued. His fear won't show up as pressure. It will show up as presence. Men don't protect what they don't care about. Fear of loss is love recognizing its own depth. Let me talk to you about peace, because this is the part nobody teaches, yet it is the reason a man stays crazy for you long after the excitement settles. Attraction might pull him in, but peace is what makes him stay. When a man finds a woman who brings calm to his life, his whole nervous system responds. He feels it in his body before he can explain it in words. A man who is crazy for you feels at ease around you. He can breathe. He can be himself without performing. He doesn't feel like he has to impress you every minute or defend his masculinity. With you, he can take off the armor he wears for the world. That emotional safety becomes addictive. Peace doesn't mean silence or lack of passion. It means emotional stability. It means disagreements don't turn into wars. It means problems are handled with respect instead of destruction. A man who experiences this kind of connection realizes how rare it is. He's not eager to go back to chaos once he's tasted calm. When a man is crazy for you, he notices how you affect his stress levels. After a long day, your presence lowers his tension instead of increasing it. Your voice grounds him. Your energy steadies him. Men pay attention to how a woman makes them feel, even if they don't always say it out loud. Peace is a feeling they protect fiercely. A woman